My name is Robin Gaby Fisher. I have been in the newspaper business for about 25 years. On January 19th, 2000, I was driving into work and I heard on the radio that there had been a fire at Seton Hall University in South Orange in New Jersey. Didn't hear anything more on the news until I got into the newsroom, and by then it was whirring with activity. They were assigning reporters and calling reporters in because the magnitude of the fire was becoming known, that 3 boys were dead, that dozens of students were taken to the hospital, that some were critically injured.
I remember that at about 4:30, quarter to 5 in the morning, I was woken by our nursing supervisors to tell us that there was a dormitory fire in Seton Hall. We received 58 patients into our emergency department. Of the 58, the 2 boys that really come to mind are Al Janos and Sean.
Initially, the story of After the Fire was a 7-part newspaper series that ran in the Star Ledger. It chronicled Sean Simons and Alvaro Llanos' recovery through burns. Matt Rainey was the photographer. He won the Pulitzer Prize for his wonderful photos. We spent every day for that 9 months with each of the boys and their families. Sean and Alvaro were roommates in Boland Hall. Although they got along really well, they weren't good friends. Sean's mother told me he was very outgoing. She told me he had a million girlfriends. She told me that all of his girlfriends' mothers always fell in love with him. He was just this lovable, confident kid. He wasn't burned as badly as Alvaro. And once he started recovering, he recovered really quickly. He didn't just leave the burn unit and go home. He came back every single day to check on his roommate.
I came out of my coma in about 8 days, and the first actual thing that I asked him was, "Where is Al?"
Alvaro's family told me that it was unlikely that he would be able to deal with being burned if he survived, which was very much in doubt. He had all kinds of things being pumped into him, but Sean would go in and sit by his bedside and just talk and talk and talk to him and encourage him. And I could just see, even when Alvaro was asleep, this relationship evolving.
Yeah, well, seeing him up and walking and doing certain things that we took for granted, like, it motivated me to want to get better.
I got a call from an agent in New York who said, "Would you be interested in developing this as a book?" And it got shopped around, and everybody rejected it because they said, "We love the story, but there's no end to it. It's not over yet." So I just forgot about it. 2 years ago, Jeff Chandler, the editor, wrote an email and said, "I'll never forget the story of After the Fire." By then, there was closure. The kids who started the fire were caught and prosecuted. Alvaro had by then met a wonderful girl and was married. Sean was doing extremely well, had children. If ever there was a story worth telling and hearing, it's the story of Sean and Alvaro. It's the story of these unsung heroes in the burn unit who do this horrifying yet beautiful work. I have been a Pulitzer Prize finalist twice, which I'm proud of. This is my first book, and I can't imagine there'll ever be a book like it again. People everywhere were following the progress of Sean and Alvaro. It was the most successful newspaper series in the Star Ledger's history. It got to the point where they weren't subjects of a story anymore. I fell in love with them. I mean, it was just like watching brothers after a while. These were not just roommates anymore. These were truly best friends.